G'day guys, D-Mac from NBA Fantasy Bible back at it again with another mock draft. This time it's a 14-teamer on Yahoo. I've actually got a friend as well. I did one probably 12 hours ago with Steve St. Pierre. I've got another friend. It's our old mate, Puppy Roy, NBA Fantasy PH. How are you, my friend?
Yo, what's up, bro? How's everything?
Going well, going well. Now, we've gone into a 14-team room. It's 5 minutes until the room opens, so we've got a bit of time to chat beforehand. I've also got a quick message as well. I caught up with Matty G, our mate Matty G. He's actually in Melbourne at the moment. He's checking out a bit of NBA action. Shall we just have a look at what he was able to get for us?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, how are you, mate?
Mate, good. I'm about to watch some NBA. Well, the warm-up to some NBA versus NBL tomorrow. I'm here in Melbourne for the Pelicans in town. And I saw something very juicy, D-Mac, that's going to make you a very, very, very happy boy.
Is that right? What did you see?
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte, what is he doing? Getting up shots.
Well, I got in a little bit early today for a shoot-around before everyone got in here and had some access downstairs. And DeJounte Murray was one of the first players out on the floor. In fact, he was one of only, I think, like 5 or 6. I'm yelling. There's a guy yelling in the background. He was one of only 5 or 6 initial Pelicans players to make his way out along with Jordan Poole. And he was looking very nimble. Very nimble.
Right, because we've been talking about DeJounte for a while, coming back probably the 1st of January. That is very exciting, Matty G.
Yeah, Shams reported this week that he's coming back January 1st. That's circled on his calendar, and he looked very clean. Now, obviously, it's not game action, and he's working his way back in. But put him on your radar as an absolute luxury stash for January.
Absolutely. Make sure, if you've got those IRs, consider DeJounte. We talk about Kyrie, but I think DeJounte coming back really early, or a lot earlier than Kyrie, is definitely on the radar now. So that's really good live. Okay. There we go. A little bit there, a little bit of glitchiness, but Matty G's over in Melbourne, so he's watching the New Orleans Pelicans. They're going to play tomorrow. They played last night. We did see a little bit of Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson. Zion looks crisp, looks sharp, hitting corner threes as well. So that's something interesting to note as well. But the interesting point there was DeJounte Murray was putting up shots. Matty G actually sent me a picture of him putting up shots as well. So it bodes well for his potential return come first week of January, supposedly. Don't know if that's still going to be true, that first week of January timeline, but hey, it's something to be aware of when we come towards, I guess, draft season, which is pretty much now. So keep that in mind, particularly those that have IRs and ILs. We're two and a half minutes away, and I'll get that screen up for you now. But yeah, we're 2.5 minutes away. You're picking at what number, Puppy Roy?
I'll try number 14, last pick.
Number 14. Okay. So this is deep. So bear in mind, we're going to go a little bit deeper because the flavor of the month at the moment is looking at some deep flyers. So guys like Enes Kanter, Isaiah Jackson, Mitchell Robinson, they've all sort of been highly touted at the moment this week, particularly. I've been in the Locked On Fantasy Bowl draft at the moment, and those guys all went in the 10th round, which is pretty high when you compare it to what was going on probably even a week ago. These guys are just flying up boards at the moment.
Yeah, and I think, every season, everybody loves those sleeper picks. I just want to remind everyone that, there's other players that might fall. So please bear in mind that in every upside pick, there's always a risk. There's a reason why we don't pick them earlier than usual. So, just don't be excited, guys.
Yeah, I'm targeting quite a few of those guys. But to your point, Puppy Roy, that just allows some value to drop as well. Also, you guys that have joined in, thank you so much. We are on X, we're on YouTube as well. This is a live Q&A. So if you've got any questions, we're trying to focus on drafting, but we'll try to hit up your questions and answer them as best as possible while we do draft. But what I've found is in the last couple of times I've done a live mock, very difficult to focus on both. So yeah, good lesson for you guys. remain focused during your draft. But we are about to get into the draft room. Then there'll be another 2 minutes. Those of you that are familiar with Yahoo, we will do more of these as well on Fantrax. I don't think we'll do ESPN for now. We'll leave that to the Points League extraordinaires. But yeah, Fantrax is coming, but Yahoo is probably more popular at the moment. So we're going to hit that up. But 14 teams, a little bit different to what you guys are probably used to. So we'll just wait there. Puppy Roy, have you seen any trends in the last week? You were saying offline that you've noticed just a slight change in how people are drafting.
Yeah, at least in the leagues live drafts that I have for FBPH leagues, I noticed that everyone adjusted with what Yahoo also adjusted. So say for example, one very popular name that is now being picked towards end of second, definitely third round is Miles Turner. So he's someone that was previously ranked, I think, around 70s, and now he's being picked as early as second round. So that's something that I really noticed. And then couple of guards actually seems falling a little bit. And for some reason, there's a lot of GMs that are more confident in drafting the likes of Joel Embiid and Paul George. So you know, that's something that I noticed heavily because couple of weeks ago I in mock drafts I see Joel Embiid lasting around pick 90s to 100s, which for me is a value already, and now he's being picked around round 4 and 5.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I've been in a Locked On Fantasy Bowl, so shout out Josh Lloyd and the guys at Locked On. That's a games cap head-to-head, very unique format in that you can then be a little bit riskier, get these guys with high upside, good per game averages. Maybe they miss a few games, but it's impacting you less in those types of formats. But in a standard, traditional head-to-head, there is still risk with Paul George and Joel Embiid and even Mark Williams. I'm lukewarm about Mark Williams just because we haven't seen him be fully healthy for quite some time. But it's just something to keep in mind. Again, know the format of your league. If there is a games cap, maybe you're in Roto for the 10% of you guys that do play Roto. Maybe you're in Roto where you can pick up these types of guys with high upside. Kristaps Porzingis is another guy that maybe you don't fully trust, although having said that, contract year, maybe he plays a little bit harder this season. I'm not saying he was soft, but that's the type of thing that we're looking for. There's a little bit of value there throughout the draft. But we are about to get going. What am I drafting at? I have not focused. I'm at 4. So the reason why I'm at 4 is I'm hoping that I can build a Giannis build. And those guys that do watch me a little bit know that I don't tend to punt very heavily from the outset. So this is very foreign for me. So I'm just trying something a little bit different tonight. So let us know your thoughts on my punt free throw build, and probably a punt threes build, to be honest. But we'll see how that plays out. Keep the questions coming. We're about to start. We've got some questions, so we'll line those up very shortly. Okay, 4 seconds. Here we go. And we'll talk through it as we go. Expecting Jokic to go. So Jokic 1, Wemby 2. No surprise there, although there is a case that Jokic doesn't go 1, depending on the schedule and the format of your playoffs as well. The Denver Nuggets don't have the best. SGA went at 3, so that allows me to pick up Yanni at 4. So I wouldn't do this Luka at 4, but I'm just trying this punt build tonight. So I would expect Luka to go 5.
What if Sabonis falls to me? I'm gonna go Sabonis and probably Sengun, and then both of us are gonna be punting free throws.
We will, and that is one of the pitfalls of punting with Giannis, because you are in direct competition with someone for that same build, and so that is very difficult to counter at times as well. So Luka at 5, Ant at 6, Kate Cunningham at 7. Any surprises there?
No, I think probably Devin Booker being picked at this area because I see him at least in
8. Yep.
yeah, I see him in the Filipino leagues being drafted towards end of first round, which for me is value.
We saw the Suns play today, and he actually looked really good, impressive with his assists, and that's the type of upside that we're looking for Devin Booker. No Jalen Green for a little bit of time to start the season, I would expect, but Devin Booker is going to have a high level of usage on that Suns team. But yeah, exciting to see where he goes. But 8th is probably a little bit earlier than what I've seen, but I'm not I'm not too worried about that. AD at 9, Trey Young at 10, pretty standard there. Karl Anthony Towns has dropped off. Is it Mike Brown? Is it Mitchell Robinson now playing the 5? Mitchell Robinson looked fantastic the other night, preseason activity in the Middle East, but Karl Anthony Towns at 11. Harden at 12, Steph at 13. Sabonis, thank you very much. Thanks, Hardy. So you've gone Sabonis. And
Let's have some fun tonight, bro.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Again, these are the pitfalls of doing these types of punts, but that's fine. Maybe I don't punt what you're exactly going to punt. I'll punt free throws, but maybe I target threes. Don't know how you'll go with threes.
Yeah,
anyway, straight after Şengün. Very aggressive there on Şengün, by the way. So I don't recommend that at all, but I can see what you're doing, Puppy Roy. So you've ruined it for me. KD went at
sorry, bro.
So KD.
Just want to give shout out to people who remember the DeAndre Jordan, Andre Drummond era. So I'll try to do that, but this time instead of rebounds blocks, this is rebounds assist combo. So shout out to those pips.
Yeah, and the thing is, with deeper leagues like a 14 or a 16 or even deeper, you do need to lean towards that punt because it is more difficult to build that balanced team and really stream hard. That's generally my my tactic when I do play 12 teamers. I stream hard and I focus on beating my individual opponents for the week. And it seems to work for me, but in a 14-teamer and deeper, it's quite difficult to do so. So leaning towards a punt, whether it's a heavy or a light punt, is advisable for a deeper league like this. Just going back, so KD went at 2-2, which is pick 16, Evan Mobley at 17, J-Dub at 18, Tyrese Maxey at 19, Amen Thompson at the 6th pick of the second round in this 14-teamer. JJ at 2-7, LaMelo Ball at 2-8, and so LaMelo Ball was taken at 22. Do you think that's too early for LaMelo Ball, or is that just an upside swing?
I think it's an upside swing, but looking at the still available players, I would have picked several names here ahead of LaMelo Ball. I mean, you're actually a little bit risking your second round pick here. I love the upside. I think I do believe in that saying when players get injured until they aren't, right? I've been in the era of Brook Lopez before he was totally tagged as a very injury prone player, and several years, recent years, he's been playing like a mammoth, right? So yeah, maybe this is the season LaMelo plays more. So it's fine.
Yeah. I just took Scotty Barnes at pick 25 to pair with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just before that, Chet Holmgren went at 24. Donovan Mitchell went at 23, straight after LaMelo Ball, who you spoke about at 22. Benedict is on the clock. Thanks, Benedict. I wanted LeBron. Maybe I should have taken LeBron there to try and boost threes. He's 40 years old. He's my age. And I'm feeling it every time I get out of the bed. I don't know. LeBron is just superhuman. But is there a bit of a downward trajectory with LeBron this season? We haven't really seen it, but maybe this is the season. Look, in hindsight, maybe I should have taken LeBron to counter your punt free throw build as well, my friend.
I'm actually having a hard time now because I remember if I was to go that route wherein it's like a Drummond DeAndre pairing, I forgot that Domantas and Sengun doesn't have a lot of blocks. So I'm thinking, what's my next move now? Because probably aside from punting blocks, I'm also punting turnovers, which is odd, right? For a big lineup.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, now that you've said that, I would have De'Aaron Fox typically, but he is injured to start the season. I'm going to counter what you just said. I'm going to get ahead of the game and try to beat you. So we're in direct competition with this build. But just before JJJ, we had, straight after LeBron, we had Jalen Brunson. I feel like there's a bit of a drop-off this season with Jalen Brunson and a couple of the Knicks guys. Pascal Siakam at 28. Franz Wagner at 29. Seems a little bit early. Desmond Bain is there now. I don't know if, like, a lot of his good work was done when Paolo Banchero was sidelined last season. I don't know if... What do you think of Franz Wagner at 29?
A bit early for me. I mean, there are seven, like, you have Derek White, despite, for me, technically a little bit shaky for Derek White, but in terms of stats, I would have picked Derek White ahead of Franz Wagner, even the Aaron Fox. Despite the injury scare, I would have done that ahead of Franz Wagner. Yeah, there's several names here that I could have drafted ahead of Franz.
Yeah, straight after Franz was Jaylen Brown, probably another guy I could have considered had he fallen to me with that build that I've got going. But Jaylen Brown, again, is there a shutdown risk with the Celtics? I heard it, or I saw a couple of reports around Jason Tatum possibly returning this season. Is that going to give them a little bit of motivation, just encouragement to try to really gun hard for the playoffs to see if their superstar can return? I don't know, but maybe it just bodes well for the fact that these guys will stay on the court for longer. Won't have those rest and maintenance days as much as I thought they may have.
Yeah, I'm actually torn with the Boston Celtics direction because all of their moves recently is about the financial status they have right now, which eventually should lead to possible tanking. But their coach isn't used to that. Jason Tatum is showing in videos like the recent ones. So I'm a little bit torn, but I'm leaning towards for them to still probably tank.
Yeah, so after Jaylen Brown was Josh Giddey. So I've seen Giddey go a lot earlier than this. So, yeah, what is that? 20, 29, 30, 31 is a lot later than what I have seen recently. I took Jaren Jackson Jr. straight after that. Trey Murphy is a favorite of mine, so he went straight after JJJ. Bam Adebayo followed Trey Murphy. Then Jamal Murray, I think he's being slept on somewhat, but I'm happy to grab him here in the middle of the third round in this 14-teamer. There's the other guy. There's the other one. I was surprised that Derek White went after Jaylen Brown, but he goes in the middle of that third round there. Then Dyson Daniels, Ivica Zubac, Paolo Banchero. So interesting build. So that team has Karl Anthony Towns, J-Dub, Banchero, and also Desmond Bane in the following round. So interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but we'll look at that with keen observation. Kawhi Leonard went at 312, Ja Morant at 313. I think Ja Morant's going to have a pretty good season if he can remain healthy. Yeah. And to round out the third round is De'Aaron Fox. There's your guy, Spurs man, as you are. So just mentioning, there was no third round reversal in this league or in this draft. Zion went the first pick of the fourth round, followed by Miles Turner. I've actually seen Miles Turner go a lot earlier than this. I think he's going to have a pretty outstanding season.
Yeah, I really like Miles Turner's projection right now. I'm just a little bit scared that since people are now noticing his value, they're being aware about Miles Turner's value. Probably in the next coming weeks, people might overdraft him because usually that's the trend. So that's my only concern. And then just to quickly, mention my picks here. So I still stick with the, better field goal percentage, assist, and big man with assist type of build. So that's the reason why I took De'Aaron Fox and Zion Williamson.
Yeah, I like it. It's going to make things different. Oh, that's the guy I had in my queue. Denny Avdia was the guy that I had. Yeah, so that hurts a little bit. So do I play it safe or do I go someone like a Kristaps? I'm going to go Kristaps, even though he's a more traditional punt free throw guy. I like him. I like his outlook for this season. So going against the build a little bit here. But I do like Kristaps. So 53rd, I think he beats that easily on a per game basis. It really does come down to games played for KP. It'll be interesting to see how he gels alongside of Onyeka Okongwu, whether or not they play alongside of each other at times. I don't think they'll start alongside of each other. I would say that Risa Shea is the starter. Okongwu goes to the bench and KP plays the 5. What are your thoughts on the Atlanta team?
Yeah, for me, I really love the Atlanta composition right now. In terms of Kristaps Porzingis, I'm probably a bit more confident than others with Kristaps Porzingis. I know there's the after hype of the EuroLeague, but come on, bro, have you seen him follow up dunk like that, run from end to end like that? So I think there's just this weird sickness that he had during the championship, super odd timing that happened. But other than that, he was actually super healthy prior to that sickness, right? So there's no physical issues prior to that. So I'm a bit confident with KP this season.
Yeah. So we saw, just going back to your picks around Zion, Skinny Zion, excited for him. He's looking really good and really sharp at the moment.
Yeah, and I think I know some analysts doesn't take account the the contract years and all, but for me psychologically that should matter. Not the most, right? It doesn't like swing the fences, but if you try to profile such players and look for trends, I think that's something that should matter because in real life it actually matters, right?
Mm.
So I think there's a real motivation, and I think him being healthy is something that is on top of the priorities of the New Orleans Pelicans right now, especially their new GM.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just go through a few more picks as well. We've been talking a fair bit. After Avdia, we went Kristaps Porzingis, my pick. Tyler Hero, a bit of a stash. I think he'll probably miss around 4 to 5 weeks at the start of the season, based on the timeline that we've been given. Joel Embiid went at 413, and then Josh Hart. I think that's way too early. That could have been an auto. Apologies if it's not, but yeah, that's way too early for Josh Hart there. Jarrett Allen, first pick of the 5th round there. So Larry Markkinen. It's a risky team. You've got Markkinen and Embiid in the same team there. But you have started pretty well with Wembanyama, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brown. They should play most games, but Embiid, Markkinen combo, risky. Nikola Vucevic is dropping its expiring contract. Is he going to get moved this season? It's a possibility, but we've been saying that for quite some time. I took Darius Garland. I needed some assists. He's not your traditional guy for this build, but I did need assists. So again, it's not about necessarily being bad at a particular build and having to fit that. So free throws, he's not that bad at, but I needed the assist. So we're going to work towards that. You took quickly, by the way. I've got one eye on what you're doing, just after Garland. Yeah, hang on. I'm going to take a look at what you're also doing on the turn here, my friend. So you've done something similar. So he's not a traditional punt free throw guy, but you're getting assists as well.
Yeah.
You're on the clock.
Let me also pick.
Yeah, I'll talk through your pick
Yeah.
anyway. But
So-
after we get Andrew Nembhard, right?
Yeah, so the reason why I pick, well,
So
first
that's
and
pick
foremost,
71. That's pick
Yeah.
71, Nembhard. Okay.
yeah. So I actually haven't picked number in actual drafts. So I was, because there's two ways to assess a certain player. It's either what we expect hits or not. That's the only thing that can happen, right? So I'm actually leaning towards he's probably being drafted like too much, but
Mm.
at this point, I want to feel how people who picks Nembhard feels, because you're banking with a lot of stuff if you're actually high on Nembhard, meaning you're looking at those playoffs performances, and people are saying, oh, if you check the historical data rather, Denver doesn't play very well during regular season. But come on, I that's true, fine, but prior to this season, I'm pretty sure Rick Carlisle prepared something for Nembhard, right? So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a big adjustment for him to be able to succeed. So I still think he has value. Just don't overdraft him. So
Mm.
I just want to talk about him. That's why I pick him.
Yeah, not a problem. It is coming up to my pick. So let me focus. I don't know if you wanted to quickly run through the other picks while I'm thinking about mine.
Sure.
or you trying to
Actually, what I'm
sabotage
gonna
me?
do is I'm just gonna quickly check out our comment section. So shout out to the
Yeah.
people in the comment section. Nam the man, hello. I'm picking 5. What are your opinions on Nick Claxton? I think Nick Claxton is a value pick towards the end, but take note of towards the end, because for me, if he's your third big man, I think that's value. It's hard to reach and trust Nick Claxton just because of the direction of the Brooklyn Nets. So that's my thoughts for Nick Claxton. And my friend who picks 7th is curious about Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is gonna have a strong start of the season. I'm not sure towards the second half, because most likely Scott's gonna be there, and maybe there's gonna be some trades. So usually teams like Portland, I love the projection of the young ones, but someone like Drew is still a gray area for me. Again, if you get Drew as your third or fourth guard, I'm fine with it, because you're getting some value. Who's the highest risk and highest reward do you think will be in the season, for me, probably Joel Embiid. Because if we're talking about risk and reward, you have to look at a player that can actually be a number one player in fantasy. So there's just a few players that can be number one, and I think Joel Embiid already proved that. So just because he proved that, maybe he can do it again if he's healthy. So for me, is the highest risk, highest reward for this season. Okay.
Nice, thanks, Puppy. Yeah, I'm about to get into mine. I'm loaded up. I'm loaded up already with big man, but I'm going to just go one more because you know what? Why not? I've got Mark Williams queued. Let's see if he can get to me. I think it's just the upside pick. We spoke about him at the top of the show, just around, the per game value as opposed to the potential. Oh my God, he's just been taken ahead of me. So that's a lot of fun. He did fall. He did fall a lot further than I was thinking. What I'm going to do, you spoke about Drew. I'm going to get off to a quick start in the season. I think, like you said, Drew Holiday is going to have a great start to the season. Later on, when Scoot returns, we'll see how that plays out. But I like Drew this season. Let's go through some more questions. Shaden Sharp. So his teammate just went straight after Drew Holiday. Bradley Bill, Kellel Ware. We may have to wait for a break to get to the questions because this is rapid fire drafting, which is good because it's a 14-teamer. We don't want to be here all night, do we?
For sure. And I mean, it's fun to do mock draft. So I'm pretty sure the ones who actually join us, or it's either they've already drafted in some of their leagues or they've been doing a lot of mock draft. So it just shows the activity of our fantasy basketball community. And want to give shout out to our drafters for tonight: Papi Erkan, Victor Benedict, Burke Fly High, Isamet, Ignaz, J. Andrew, C. Paulo, Ahmed, and Eggsy. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, just going through some picks that I did like. I like Klingen. 76 seems a little bit high, probably for ADP, but I think he returns that value this season. I'm a little bit devoed that I couldn't get him. Jordan Poole, so he's currently in Australia, just playing really well for the Pelicans, but it's just going to be interesting to see how that gels alongside of Zion, Trey Murphy, and then eventually when DeJounte does return, how is that all going to play out in that backcourt with both of those guys? Does one get benched for the other? It remains to be seen, but interesting nonetheless. Mathurin went at 94. You were talking about Nembhard earlier. You took Nembhard. Mathurin went at 94. What do you think of that? Because I've heard two different stories around Nembhard, or two different opinions around him in terms of fantasy. He's either going to have a tremendous season, high usage, or he's just going to be his inefficient self and really cost you a 9-cap.
Yeah, so I really like Mathurin, especially if you need points and free throws influencer. There's just one negative news or article that I kind of like read, wherein they're not that high with Mathurin right now compared to the previous season. So that's something to watch out. But with that opportunity, I think he would definitely be one of those who is going to be taking a lot of workload in terms of scoring.
Yeah. Nuz Reed was just taken Kevin Porter Jr. I'm surprised you didn't go Kevin Porter Jr. He's been a very popular guy. I think he will start for the Milwaukee Bucks ahead of Cole Anthony and Ryan Rollins. So he, for me, is the incumbent there. He would have been a nice pick for you. I'm going to say it, Puppy Roy. He would have been a nice pick for me as well, to be honest. Draymond Green went straight after him.
Actually, I think my team sucks. I should have not gone this way, but yeah, I'll try to probably fix it. And in terms of KPJ, I'm gonna respectfully, gonna be the devil's advocate in terms of KPJ. I kind of like don't. Well, he's fine in terms of opportunity, but I'd probably pick other guards over him. Why? I just think Giannis is gonna have like a solid MVP season, almost triple-double. Meaning he's gonna play a lot of as a facilitator, and he needs some good shooter. And I don't trust KPJ that much in terms of shooting. Probably it's close between him and Cole Anthony. I was just thinking maybe at some point that's Doc Rivers realizes something, and then they have like someone like Gary Payton, who actually shoots better. So I was a little bit, thinking about that. So I kind of like held my horses with KPJ.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think he gets first crack at it, and then Cole Anthony perhaps comes in. But we'll see. Maybe there's an opportunity for them to cross over as well and play alongside of each other. Not sure how that bodes for the team as well, but obviously Giannis is going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I took Andrew Wiggins as well. I think there's some value there. Keeping in mind this is a 14-teamer, some value there close to the end of the 8th round in this 14-teamer. So we are at pick 112. So we have flown through. Jalen Suggs at 111. I think that's fine. He probably drops off because, again, last season, a lot of his success came when Paolo Banchero wasn't there. Now you add in Desmond Bane as well. Plus, Jalen Suggs just can't stay on the court. So there's a few different factors as to why his ADP is dropping. But at 111, I think there's a little bit of upside there to bite off. Jaden McDaniels, he'll beat that 112 easily. So, yeah, fantastic pick. I think towards the back end of last season, he was a top 50 guy, which is almost unheard of for Jaden McDaniels. But, yeah, he's coming into probably the prime of his career as well. Okay, straight after that was Aaron Gordon, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm coming up in a couple of picks' time. What do I need, mate? What do I need? We will get to your questions very shortly. Maybe we can get to one now while we're thinking about it. Well, I haven't got anyone queued, so let me do that first, and then we'll get to some questions. Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to go Keegan Murray, just I think that's a value pick. But let's get to some questions. We're talking about punts, who to avoid. We've had that one. Yeah, this question's come up a couple of times in my socials at the last couple of days when we do a non-category head-to-head mock draft. So that's definitely in the works. And obviously I do some work with Believe in Fantasy, and Robin and the team are very points knowledgeable. So we're definitely going to be doing a points head-to-head mock draft. So don't you worry. Let us know if you want 12s or 14s, etc. What do we got? Just a comment here, not a question. Ant-Man build looking good so far. Yeah, very quickly it is, but we're not going to go through every single pick because we'll be here forever otherwise. But it is looking good. Oh, here we go. Someone who is in the draft room with us. You literally stole all 3 of mine. Okay. I don't know if he's referring to you or me, but we'll see. And then the last one, Cam Thomas, round 10, feels like value. Thoughts on the Nets in general, Papi Roy?
There's only one player that I like. Actually, like 2, I guess. Number 1 is Claxton, just because of the value. He usually falls, so that's fine with me. I thought he wasn't able to play a lot last year. I was surprised he had a decent number of games played, so that's fine with me for like 4th, 3rd center, right? But the only one player that I love is the one that I usually pick after the draft, which is Igor Demin. Other players, I'm not super interested.
Yeah, I think on a per game basis, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be fantastic. It smashes his ADP, but it's just around the risk of sitting. We saw it with the Nets last season. We saw it with the Jazz, and I don't think anything's really going to change this season, to be honest. I can't see that. I don't know if there's any other teams in the same situation. I don't think so, but they're the 2 prime candidates for tank season once again. Just recapping some of these picks as well. Where we got up to Papi. So you just talked about Claxton. So he went at 105. Herb Jones 106, who I would have liked. I think there's fantastic value there. Wasn't able to compete a lot last season, but I think he has a real nice bounce back this season. DeJounte Murray went at 124. I don't know if it was Matty G that convinced people potentially coming back this week of January, in addition to him putting up some nice shots. I know it's just an exhibition and it's just shoot around, but still it's a good sign and it's trending in the right direction for DeJounte. So, yeah, that could be a reason as well. Any other picks that take your eye?
Let me check, because I'm using my mobile. So usually when I draft, I have this weird view every time. So probably I like the Zach Edey pick in the previous round, just because the potential is good for the Memphis Grizzlies. I love their new coach. I love how they're structured. I think they badly need someone that can be used during pick and rolls. And to be honest, Zach Hill is the best one there to do pick and roll. So I would say for a late round big man, especially during those drafts wherein big man flies in very early, I think getting someone like Zach Edey at this point is value.
Yeah, I wanted to focus on Reed Shepherd at 118. I just posted on Twitter not that long ago about how I think he can have a really nice season this season. I know he only started 3 games last season, but in those 3 games, and yes, I understand, quite a different team and makeup as well. The synergy, it's going to take some time to form that chemistry. But in those 3 games, he was just absolutely outstanding. I think if he's anywhere near that, I think he's going to smash top 100. So getting him at 118, I think, is fantastic value. Between now and the start of the season, we've got just over 2 weeks. I think guys like Reed Shepherd, Cooper Flagg, some of these younger guys, they're going to put up some pretty nice numbers in preseason, which is going to really jet rocket and propel their ADPs, which could be a good or bad thing as well. Probably bad if you're looking for value picks at that stage. Kyrie Irving just went at pick 136, so his timeline's not as clear as DeJounte Murray's. But let me focus again. This is a guy I've been banging on about for quite some time. We did a show on late round flyers, deep sleepers, if you will, but Isaiah Jackson at 137 is great value. I think there's going to be rest days. Him and Jay Huff will rotate occasionally when Isaiah Jackson sits. He's coming off an Achilles tear. So it's going to take a bit to ramp up to full speed. But I love Isaiah Jackson's outlook for this season and beyond. 3-year contract as well.
Yeah, I had a draft. I don't know if it was the other day wherein Isaiah Jackson, Jay Huff, Jerez Walker was picked in the same round. But I mean, just to point that one out, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. I'm probably one of those GMs who's gonna stay away from the front court of the Indiana Pacers. So I'm not saying that everyone's not gonna be able to put value, but for me that's already orange flag or an amber flag for me that maybe I'm gonna get Mitch Robinson instead of either of those centers just because they're too good, bro. Ajax is good, J Huff is good, maybe Obi Toppin and Jerez Walker plays big, maybe Pascal Siakam. That's for me, those are solid front court. So it's hard for me to really trust them, especially if it's around round 9 or 10. Probably last round, totally fine. But if it's around that round and maybe I forgot to draft any big man, I'd rather have Mitch Robinson.
Yeah, Mitch Robinson went at 132, so just before my Isaiah Jackson pick. We saw Ryan Kalkbrenner go straight after Robinson before Isaiah Jackson. Somewhat surprising, but there is talk that Kalkbrenner will start for the Charlotte Hornets ahead of Moussa Diabate and Plumlee as well. So 3-headed monster, not the biggest, scariest monster going around, but a monster nonetheless. But Kalkbrenner, skinny, he's raw, but he'll get you blocks. So again, if you're looking for that late, and this is why we're doing a 14-teamer, we're looking at these late round flyers, but Kalkbrenner is someone that needs to be on your radar as well. And perhaps we get a little bit more clarity in the next few days with some preseason games, just to see how they're going to roll out their team as well. Just going through some last late round flyers, I should say. I picked Cam Whitmore. Again, there's a little bit of upside there. Don't know how it's going to play out once Bilal Coulibaly returns from injury. Keyshawn George is another guy on that same team that went in this round as well. So those guys get a bit of a bump while Bilal is out. How it looks once he's back, I'm willing to take that fly pick of Cam Whitmore at this point of the draft, which is, really late. We're past 150 at this stage. Adam Boner just went at 153. So another guy, good handcuff for Joel Embiid. I really like Adam Boner.
Yeah, I hate you for picking Cam Whitmore because that's my number one
That's your dude.
upside pick, bro.
Yeah.
For this season, I was trying to choose which one, and I actually I'm gonna guys who's gonna watch. I'm gonna come up with my first ever top 150 ranking. So probably starting next week, every episode I'm gonna put in 50 players. So I rank it based on my preference and some couple of reasons I'm gonna explain on that episode. But for me, I really like Cam Whitmore just because of the opportunity, upside, and all, and also that the his value or his ranking in Yahoo. Because for me, you have to also consider that, because you can easily say, "Oh, this is my upside pick," but if you just say it's an upside pick without considering where he is being drafted, now people who watches or people who sees anything might think of like, "Oh, upside pick meaning I can reach this value." So we have to be clear of that one. So for me, that's you there should be a good explanation. So me and Dimak is now explaining it to you guys, that when we say upside pick, it doesn't mean that you have to take them where we think the value is there. You pick them a little bit lower, so there's gonna be an ROI. This is like stocks, guys. We don't need to pick them at their actual value.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, just a couple of comments in the background. I'm struggling with technology at the moment. There we go. It's finally caught up, because who I was putting into mine was another Mitchell, not Donovan, not Mitchell Robinson, but it was going to be Davion Mitchell if my computer wouldn't freeze on me. But at least the mock is still going. I may get autoed, and that's okay. But you know that I'm thinking of you, Davion Mitchell. But a couple of comments here and questions as well. Look at this one. D-Mac, please let Puppy Roy know we miss him so much. He's still here, guys. So go and catch him, and you'll see a lot more of him as well. How about TJ outlook? So TJ McConnell, you talked about the Pacers earlier. TJ McConnell, you're a fan?
I'm a fan just because he isn't being picked earlier than I value him. So I like the specs, this type of players, especially for 14 team, just because we're getting good value out of these players in comparison to other players that for me is being ranked or being picked a little bit higher based on how I see them or how I value them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still lagging, so that's fun. It looks like I'm going to get autoed with Collier. Okay, so that's a good one. Keep in mind, mocks are a good way to practice, and when technology fails you, here we go. Have we got it? No. So it's going to auto me on Collier. So that's fun. But make sure you put your cue in, because things like these happen. Maybe it doesn't happen on a podcast, which is very fun. But things like this do happen. So keep that in mind. So who did I end up getting?
So you actually got Jonathan Kuminga. So you got Jonathan Kuminga after Con Nupel, and I was laughing earlier because you're talking about Davion Mitchell. Since you snagged my Cam Whitmore, I actually picked Davion Mitchell towards the end, and actually picked Gary Trent Jr. as well.
Gary Trent. Hey, this is good, because if it autos me, now I just get to observe it, which I love doing, and go through some of your questions as well. But any notable picks before we get to the questions as well? I see Daniel Gafford slipped. He's had an ankle injury. I don't think he misses too much at the start of the season, but for him to drop that low, I think there's some value. He's going to come off the bench behind Derek Lively, and you would have seen AD. I'm on the clock, so that's a bit of fun. Is it going to let me click? No, it's not. So this will be fun to see who it autos for me. But yeah, AD's looking big and stocky. I don't know if that means he's shifting across to center, or he's just had a really nice off season.
I don't know about what they're doing in Dallas. They were kind of like criticizing Luka for being big, and now with someone that isn't really durable getting big. I don't know, bro. But for me, I'm a little bit excited with Anthony Davis, just because, hey, are we getting that New Orleans Pelican Anthony Davis, right? We could, if at least like 70 to 80% of that, then that's gonna be a hammer. But
AD at 5 is absolutely elite. AD at 5 is top 4, top 5 type of stuff there.
Yeah, bro. He just needs,
which is great.
Just 65 games, bro. Just 65 games. We're good.
Yeah, that's all we need. Yeah, this is good because I've completely frozen it, so this is fun. But let's get some questions anyway. Who is your favorite? Sensabaugh, Jovic, Isaiah Jackson, and Scoot, early injury considered. Of those guys, who are you liking?
So I'm pretty sure you're gonna pick Isaiah Jackson. You mentioned it earlier.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. So me personally, I could have picked Scott just because of the early injury, right? So now I'm gonna ding him because that's important. He's gonna be out a couple of weeks. So I'd probably choose Jovic. I'm not gonna even consider Sensible just because of what he brings. Plus, you know, Utah Jazz is a little bit tight this season. There's a lot of upside picks, but guys, I'm challenging you to sit and review how's Utah gonna distribute the minutes because it's gonna be hard, right? So for me, I'm gonna ding those upside picks from Utah a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Nikola Jovic here.
Jovic, interesting. Jovic starts ahead of Kelly Ware, you think?
Uh probably, especially with Hero out, they might need that additional playmaker and outside shooter, probably. Because remember, late last season, in terms of positive ratings, they're a little bit down when Kalel Ware was playing. So in fantasy, and what we see, he's dunking, he's blocking, he's good. But in terms of winning, they aren't winning. So
Yeah.
understanding our Kabayan, their coach, to be a little bit picky in that matter, I would assume he might not start.
Yeah. This is the last round. It is glitchy. It'll catch up, so we'll let you know some more picks, but we'll go through some of the questions. These are real late round flyers, and we'll go through some guys that we think probably should have been drafted as well. But some more questions. Keep them coming because it is sort of glitchy at the moment, so it's a bit of fun. This one, do you see a chance Clowney becoming fantasy relevant this season? I'm assuming we're talking about standard leagues, deeper leagues. I think so. And by all accounts, he's really beefed up and jacked. And we saw a couple seasons ago in silly season that he was just a bit of a behemoth in terms of blocks. And then he turned into just a volume shooter last season.
Yeah, I think he could. There's several, rumors that he could start the season, but for me, this is kind of like a domino effect. So for us to answer this, we have to be sure on what is Brooklyn's direction. Most likely, if we answer that question, then everything's gonna get answered. Because there's several rookies that is playing the same role with him, and I do think any coach wouldn't actually start rookies, right? But then again, if they want to see those rookies play, then Clowney's opportunity and actual mean is gonna be limited.
Yeah, it looks like the last round's completely frozen. I guess we got quite a few people on the live stream, so it could be that. Oh, we've all caught up. So we will go through those last few picks. Let's go. Who do we have? The last few picks. So after Clowney went Brook Lopez, bit of blocks upside there, but I don't think that he's going to have a great deal to do this season behind Ivica Zubac over at the Clippers. So that's real late round flyer type, but I'm not sure about that one. Taylor Hendricks went after that. DeAndre Hunter has a fair bit to do while Max Strus is out. So I like that one. Keon Ellis should be starting, but he's not going to.
Yeah.
We're pretty clear on that. But he should be starting. I think he makes the Kings better. But you've got the old brigade, Levine, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, Schroeder as well. It would be nice to see Keon Ellis get into that team because his defensive pressure is so elite that he should just be there as well. Yang Han Sen as the backup to my boy Donovan Clingan. That's a real late round flyer. I don't think he's NBA ready at this stage. He's shown some nice flashes in Summer League, but I don't think he's quite NBA ready. So development player for me. Isaiah Collier, just for the assist upside, so I don't mind that at all. Dylan Harper, your guy there at the Spurs. Colin Sexton. And what was the last pick, Puppy Roy? Can you say
I
that?
picked Nikola Jovic just to be, just to be a stand-up guy in that question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the draft, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. We've got a couple more questions. Oh, hang on. Another Jovic. Whilst we're talking about it, Nikola Jovic just got a 4-year contract extension, so I assume he's starting at PF. I don't know if it's an assumption that you can make, but it's leaning that way. I would agree with that. Bam's still the center and Ware as a backup. Yeah, it's looking that way at this stage. But again, preseason games will clear that up a little bit more. Any other picks that you just wanted to point out here, Puppy Roy, before we shut up shop for the day?
Let me see. So for me, of all the picks, probably let's see who actually fell the most. Reason is this could actually give information to all of us just because of the consensus. So I would say one of the value picks that fell a lot, probably maybe Austin Reeves.
Mm.
Yeah, his pick what? Let me see, because for me he's definitely a top 50, even if he won't, if he just replicate his value towards end of the season. So for me, there's value there. I think that's something
Even
that
at 52,
someone,
yeah, 52 for
yeah,
Austin Reeves is outstanding. I think he's been going at probably in the 30s in the mock drafts and real drafts that I've been in. So getting him at 52s, it could be a Yahoo-ism where based on the ranks, he's just been able to fall. But yeah, hopefully you get that sort of value. Austin Reeves at 52. I haven't
yeah,
seen it, but yeah, that's a nice one to call out there, Puppy Roy.
yeah. And then couple of things I'm seeing Mikal Bridges, since he played very well in the preseason, is going off the charts. So he's being picked more right now. And then that goes as well with Herb Jones. Couple of
Yeah.
wings that I'm seeing going up towards the draft, in recent mock drafts and actual drafts that I've seen. So it's hard to check everything, but those are the picks that pop to my eye.
Yep, absolutely. Looks like we've gone through most of the questions there. Apologies if we haven't gotten to all of them. Actually, there's quite a few that we haven't got to. But if you want to ask us anything directly, you know where to find Puppy Roy. Let us know, Puppy Roy. I know where to find you, but not everyone does.
Yeah, so since shout out to our Filipino basketball community, since Filipino stays a lot in Facebook, so you can check my content, everything actually about me in my Facebook page, which is Fantasy Basketball PH. Via Twitter or X, I'm at NBA Fantasy Papi, and then Fantasy Basketball PH as well for YouTube. So something that you can watch out, especially for those Filipinos right now. So I'm gonna do a lot of content about the teams, division analysis, top 150, and then probably I'm gonna do a devil's advocate episode, try to ditch DMAX take and other analyst
Get
take
me on as
to
the
make it
optimist,
fun,
and then
right?
you rein it back in. Yeah, I'll come in as the overly optimist person.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna start a format where it's just up or down. Not a lot of explanation, it's just up or down. So let me try those simple stuff. So yeah,
I love
hope
it.
you enjoy those kind of upcoming episodes
Yeah.
for Fantasy Basketball
And for
PH.
those that don't know, it was Puppy Roy that reached out to me initially way back when. You're the one that got me into this whole thing, into doing shows and getting my Twitter out there. So yeah, I owe you a lot of credit there. Some may say you shouldn't have done it. You've created a beast, particularly my wife. So shout out my wife. A quick word. So this episode is brought to you by Believe in Fantasy Basketball. If you want to be an MVP community member, make sure you sign up. Believeinfantasy.com. So you'll get priority DM and email responses, exclusive MVP Discord access with all of our experts, including Puppy Roy and myself. We're part of the team, and a whole heap of other things as well. So make sure you become a member. Visit believeinfantasy.com. Thank you so much, Puppy Roy.
Of
a
course.
lot in store, a lot more of these to happen. 14 teams. Let us know as well in the comments of YouTube or get onto our Twitter. Let us know what you want to see more. We know we want to do more points. Maybe you want to go deeper. Maybe we want to go shallower. Let us know, because we're doing a whole heap of 12 teamers, which we are accustomed to as well. Until further notice, thank you, Puppy Roy. I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much, guys. Let us know what you think of the episode. But until next time, thanks, guys.